is a lake. And the sand dune's alive.
Oh, I'm slipping away.
This is where we camped last night, the Great Lakes Services Plaza. It's awesome, it's free showers, and there's a 24-hour Burger King, and it's a really nice quiet place to sleep. There's only one catch though, you have to get a toll road to get here. But that's okay, hopefully it's only a couple of bucks, we'll find out today. We love these places, it's actually less crowded than a $60 camping ground. So as I said earlier, there was a catch to staying at them free services, and that was to go on the toll road. So we've just come off the toll road, we know how much it was. To camp last night, have a shower, it cost us a grand total of $1.75. That's a bargain, definitely worth going on the toll roads, have a nice place to stop for the night. We're just driving by and we just saw a classic car show, so we're going to go take a look because we love classic cars, especially American ones. I love anything red. So we're each going to choose a car each once we've decided which one we like the best. I think Mike's chosen his already. I'm still looking. I'm still window shopping. So it's now time to reveal our choices. We'll go see what Mike's chosen first.
It's this one.
I think I'm going to go for this little one here. We've almost done our full circle. If we were to drive 2.5 hours that direction, we'd be back at Grand Rapids where we bought Roger. Still trying to find somewhere to stop for the night. We popped into the Indiana Dunes National Park back there, and it says yes, we've got 2 more spots, and then when we went to book them they'd gone, so missed by that much. Anyway, they said we can go park in the visitor centre for free. But it's a beautiful view out here. There's the sun setting over Lake Michigan, and there's the Chicago skyline over there in the distance. That's where we slept last night. So we're just in the Indiana Dunes National Park. Both the national park and the state parks were full last night, so they suggested we come and park here at the visitor centre, and it was free. Really quite nice night, it was lovely. So we're just going to explore some of the national park today.
Indiana Dunes National Park is unique. It has a main road running through the middle of it. Also, there's a major port of Indiana, the Port of Indiana.
This is Lake Michigan, which is a lake, so ships are coming in from the Atlantic. Go figure. So the reason I've made this a national park is otherwise it would just be all taken over as industry. So that's why it's segmented, a little bit here on the side of the road, and over here as well. So we're going to go explore that today. So driving along here, we have National Park either side of this main road. So this is a lake, believe it or not, and out there is the Chicago skyline. I can't even see it today, it's very hazy, but look at this, it's like a beach. And that's the Indiana port just down there. I said before, boats come in from the Atlantic. I mean, this is a lake. Boats come in from the Atlantic. Apparently got to go through a number of locks to get here. So just going to take a look at some houses that were transported here in 1933 after a World Trade Fair in Chicago.
They're houses of the future. How the Americans thought housing might go in the future.
Some of them even have their own landing pad for an aeroplane.
In the 1930s, few people had cars, let alone aeroplanes, yet they had one that built for a plane hangar underneath. The houses had dishwashers, which were unheard of in the 1930s, and they were also started experimenting with air conditioning, much needed nowadays.
And they even had garages with automatic openers. In the 1930s, like Mike said, most people didn't even have cars in those days. So futuristic, so ahead of their time.
This is the Armco Ferro House. It was built of steel and porcelain, and it was the only one that actually completed the criteria for the 1933 World Trade Fair, and that it was affordable and it could be mass produced. And it only cost $4,500.
So this is America's first glass house. This house played a pioneering role in the development of passive solar heating.
Although the house was made of all glass, none of the panels could be moved. Just think about heat in the summer though.
And it also had a hangar to park the aeroplane. Crazy. Look how far we've come. Not that far at all.
The pink house is slowly being undermined by the currents and the tides, washing the sand away from beneath it.
So there was originally 11 houses transported here from that Chicago trade fair, and 6 of them in the lake. Over there somewhere, Fallen Lake, and apparently this pink one is going to join them soon, or at some stage. So these houses are actually part of the national park. The national park owns them. They got people living in them. People live here. So don't, go disrupting the peace around the area like we are. Sand, there's waves. I mean, how can you imagine not being at the sea? This really looks like the ocean out there. Lake Michigan, it's just a lake. And ships come in from the Atlantic. They've got to go for about 21 locks to do so. Lake Michigan is 58,000 square kilometres. That's 100 times bigger than Lake Taupo, which is New Zealand's largest lake. And it's not even the biggest lake in the region. Lake Superior is a massive 82,000 square kilometres.
The state park actually has 15 miles of coastline, and the water's not too cold.
So Chicago's out there somewhere. We saw the skyline last night when the sun was down a bit further. Apparently people commute from here to there. The train that goes. It's about 54 miles.
You got a smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine.
So this is Mount Baldy. It's the biggest sand dune in the national park, but there are bigger ones in the state park, which is just a bit further that way. And this sand dune's alive. It moves. And Mike's going to tell you why.
Because there's no vegetation on this sand dune, the wind will pick up the sand and move it a little bit. A little microcosm per blow. It moves up to 4 foot a year, and it will cover anything in its path, big oak trees included. So you can see up on the dune there, some trees that have been swamped by the sand. And up over there you can see the remains of some of the trees. Those have finally died off. These ones here are still alive, so obviously their roots have got some water somewhere. Eventually they will die. And these ones are just starting to be covered. Not worked out how far away I am, but in a few years' time this will be covered in sand.
So we're just taking a little walk to Bailey's homestead. This is still in the national park. So Joseph and Marie Bailey arrived here in 1822, and they built this homestead. They were heavily involved in the fur trading.
The Baileys set up a trading post here. They also tracked beavers. They're so successful they all but wiped out the beaver population of this area. Beavers are now returning, and over in the national park they started to dam up part of the area and formed a marsh area.
You are the only thing I need in life.
This little place here is where they make maple syrup. Well, historically, I don't know if they still do it today.
If you have a maple tree that's at least 10 inches in diameter, you'll be able to tap it for its sap. Then you can make your own maple syrup. And to do that, put it into a tub and heat it up until it gets to 219 degrees Fahrenheit. When it reaches that temperature, you've got your syrup. Just let it cool down and pour on your pancakes.
Yeah. We do this every day. We do this love for life. You got a smile that makes the sun.
I think the spider was having a bit of a retro moment. Looks like a compact disc. Or is it a record? How old do you think the spider is? Compact disc or record?
Realize, and that's what made me fall.
That's a steel mill entrance, and this is a queue to get in there. Now the majority of the United States steel is actually produced at that plant.
That's the steel mill just on our right there, and we're coming up to the port now, the port of Indiana. So I read some reviews of people saying they didn't think Indiana Dunes was very nice because it's all overlooking industry and stuff. But I think that's what makes it interesting. I mean, they've had to make it a national park so that it's not all overtaken by industry. It's protecting this area. Because if you have a look over here, you've got National Park on this side, and over here is the Port of Indiana. And if they hadn't protected all this area, so the national parks means it's protected by the federal government, if they hadn't have done that, this could all be taken over by industry and it would just be ruined. There's a really nice view of the Chicago skyline out here. Check that out. We're not going to go to Chicago on this trip. We've been there before. It's well worth a visit though if you haven't been. Mike, they rolled the blue carpet out for us.
I thought I was worthy of the red carpet.
Just taking a little walk out onto this pier. The water is so clear. There you go, Port of Indiana. Indiana Dunes National Park, or as Mike likes to call it, Indiana Jones National Park. Mike's been getting some really weird looks wearing his hat, which I don't know why.
I don't understand why. What's wrong with my hat?
I think it's cool. I think it's good for keeping the sun off completely off your face.
So it looks nice and calm out there today, but when the wind blows from the north, you can get waves up to 8 feet high.
And we've just driven into Iowa for the first time on this trip. We didn't even stop in Illinois, just coming up as the world's largest truck stop. So I've seen a couple of other bloggers go there and it looks like a lot of fun. We're just at the world's largest truck stop. But more about that in the next episode.
We're at Indiana Jones National Park. Oh. So we're at Indiana Jones National Park.
So this is the Indiana Jones National Park.